Can you please share a bit with us, what did you learn new that you might have learned from directing Dracula? You've directed so many great movies. Was there something new in this movie?
I learned a lot. I learned, first of all, in the study you do before you make a movie, I learned a lot of the history of Romania and about the life of the real Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, he was called. Excuse me. And I learned a lot about Bram Stoker and of that period in London, and I learned about the early days of the cinema, because I was very interested that Dracula takes place at the same time that there was the first movies. And the first movies were made by magicians who made magic tricks, and so I thought that we would make all the special effects in Dracula in the old-fashioned way, as with mirrors and with trapdoors and everything made by hand rather than the new kind of computer effects. And I learned how to make really gigantic movie in 4 sound stages. Mm-hmm. And I learned all the time. I learned.
New challenges for you as a director with this movie?
Yeah, it was a lot of challenges. To do erotic scenes, I am not very comfortable doing erotic scenes. I don't know why. I never have been. I think I'm, the way my mother raised me, I am very uncomfortable to ask women to take their clothes off. I don't like to do that. And if they say no, if they just say, well, I'm not sure, I say, oh, okay, you don't have to. So that was a big challenge, and the challenge of doing so many special effects without having a lot of money for them, and the challenge of working with costumes as the important scenic element rather than the sets. That was different. So it was a good educational experience for me.
You have an extraordinary cast in this movie. What did you learn from directing them?
Well, the thing about the cast is they're all young. Most of them, you know, all but one are young. The other is my age, Anthony Hopkins. And I wanted that because my feeling was I wanted these beautiful young people with, you know, hot red blood in their veins, because I think the vampires were like that. You know? And, you know, I think also these are the young actors of the future, because they are the ones who are up and coming, you know, Winona and Keanu and Gary. So it was also an opportunity for me to make contact with the new actors as well as the new audience.
The strong in the Lord and the power is much. Hombres in lucha! I cast you out, the prince of darkness, into hell!
Good.
You have won many international awards. Do prizes say anything to you?
Well, a prize is just what a prize is to a little kid. You know, it shows that people like what you did. But the real prize is the prize of if the film lives. And the real prize is when you make a film and 20 or 30 years later, people still are interested in it.
They start to meet these action. Now you're a little more conscious, and your eyes are looking at him sort of horrible, right? And then you do all of this. Good, very, oh, wow, Shady, what a big fuss. That was good.
Do you have any still unsatisfied dreams as a director after doing so much over the years? Something that you might say?
Oh, yeah, very much so. That my big unsatisfied dream is that I always wanted to write my own scripts of original stories, of stories that I make up rather than to adapt a book or a play. So I hope that now, if Dracula does real well and people enjoy it, which I hope they will, and have fun with it, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 6 months off and just be a bohemian and just go to the cafe and listen to what everyone is saying and not have to work myself right away.
Okay, cut. Yeah, it's just we don't see it. So let's do it the way you most like to do it.
Do you have a favorite scene in the movie?
I love the scene. Of course, you know, I worked with my son on this film, and my son shot all of the live-action special effects. So my favorite scenes are the ones he shot, because they're the most interesting ones.